So we're just going to take it a bit easier now and just try and get to the end on Saturday afternoon.
Ermelo, a dusty town in the south of Mpumalanga, which traditionally hosts part of the Rally of South Africa. The event has often started here in the past, before organisers decided to move the start to the Gauteng area in a successful attempt to attract more spectators. Still in their original starting position, Damso and Bonafide had slipped a second overall behind Habak and Judge when they started stage 8, after losing 12 seconds to the Volkswagen crew in the previous stage at Hendrina. Having fixed their electrical problem, the reigning champions were determined to start building a lead over the Castrol Toyota crew. After taking an 11-second lead after the previous stage, Habak and Judd took another 2 in 8. Up in third overall now, having overtaken Van der Walt and Harding, Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley were pushing their team total Toyota Conquest hard, despite various worrying mechanical problems. A nice full crowd packed the grandstand at the Ermelo Showgrounds, watching Chad van der Walt and Cindy Harding in the GNT VW Golf, 5th overall, and now only 3 seconds ahead of Grobbelaar and Burrows. They'd lost 10 seconds in all in 2 stages, struggling with the pace notes. Hannes Kruger and Tony Rowley from Zimbabwe in the ex-Damso 4x4 Castrol Toyota Conquest, who were not eligible for South African Championship points because their car did not conform to local regulations, were making a bit of a comeback, moving into 4th overall. The Dunair Toyota Conquest of Jürgen Fecken and Dave Lukowitz had a 33-second advantage over Damso and Aris going into stage 8. Damso and Aris, second in Class A6 and 8th overall, lost some 18 seconds to Fecken and Lukowitz because of a spin in stage 7 and had to make amends. Stage 9, a 14-kilometre stage in the Panbult area of southern Mpumalanga, saw African champions Santvan Singh and Surinder Tati in their Group N Subaru still on song. The affable pair love coming to South Africa. In a remarkable performance, the standard Bridgestone Nissan Sentra of Hannes Grobbelaar and Dave McGregor had moved up into the top 10 with a comfortable margin in Class N3. Diffie Moreira and Danny Duval were not so happy in their Goodwood Auto Electrical Toyota Corolla, running in Class N2, complaining of a down-on-power engine. They also picked up a 10-second penalty for clocking in late after stage 8. Things are never quiet inside a rally car.
900, caution medium right, caution medium right.
Second in Class N3 at this stage, behind Grobbelaar and McGregor, team total pair Cliff Blackman and Johan Clausen were also doing exceptionally well. Class N2 championship leaders Dean Sanders and Graham Hooper were pushing hard to catch Moreira and Duval, but intercom problems made communication difficult. Some welcome service time for running repairs after stage 9, and while Group N front-runner Hannes Grobbelaar phoned home, we asked his navigator, Dave McGregor, how things were going for them.
I think our strategy was to, on the smoother stages before we crossed the border, to build up a little bit of a buffer so that we could fish and sort of wheel the guys in and out. And we've got about a minute buffer on the Group N class and about 2 minutes in our specific category, so we're quite comfortable at this stage. Strategy is working, but there's still 2 long, hard days to go, and a night.
Stage 11, a short 5-kilometre stage at Ravumia near Amsterdam, and Damso and Bonafide were worried. They'd broken a tie rod near the end of the previous stage and lost a further 9 seconds to Habak and Judd. No such problems for the Volkswagen crew, even though Damso and Bonafide took a second off them in stage 11. Lawrence and Paisley were struggling with a number of mechanical problems, and although their stage times were good, they'd taken a lot of lateness, which would drop them in the order. Chad van der Walt and Sidney Harding had fallen to second in A7, 3 seconds behind Grobbelaar and Burrows after the previous stage, but the team total crew couldn't capitalise on this in stage 11, suffering terminal suspension problems and retiring from the event. This would do their championship hopes no good at all. After the 12th stage, the service crews had another chance to tend to the niggling problems that beset any rally car as they came to the end of the second leg of the Stanek. We caught up with a concerned Serge Damso, now 49 seconds behind the leaders.
We've got some problem with the dampers again, so we'll have to just change some dampers and see if we can get it right.
Same as in Natal?
More or less the same we had in Natal, yes.
But in the Volkswagen camp, no such worries, as the kit car, originally designed for the Safari Rally in Kenya, had been behaving impeccably. Driver Jan Habak was relaxed in the knowledge that he'd built up a handy lead. After crossing the border into Swaziland, the competitors tackled the first stage in the famous Usutu forests. The Castrol Toyota team's woes weren't over, though, with Damso and Bonafide dropping a further 6 seconds over the 9-kilometre stage to Havoc and Judd. Night rallying isn't for mere mortals. The Works Volkswagen crew continued to pull away as the night wore on. Chad van der Walt and Cindy Harding had found their feet and were going along nicely in their Class A7 GNT Volkswagen Golf after the demise of Krobbeler and Burrows. But they had one problem. The Class A6 leaders were breathing down their necks. Jürgen Fecken and Dave Lukowitz in the Dunair Toyota Conquest had opened up a substantial lead in A6 and were getting closer and closer to the Volkswagen. In the Group N battle, Hannes Krobbeler and Dave McGregor had lost some time on Diffie Moreira and Danny DeVal after they had to make do with an intermittent problem with their spots, but they still held a substantial lead as the day drew to a close. At the overnight halt in the Ezelwini Valley after 15 stages, Jürgen Fecken and Dave Lukowitz were in a remarkable third overall in the Dunair Toyota Conquest after a fast and consistent drive.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. We just want to stay there, not lose any time. So we're not going to pull out any aerobics. Just stay on the road.
The standings at the end of day 2 made for some interesting reading. Havoc and Judd had made more than a minute over Damso and Bonafide, while only 10 seconds separated the next 3 teams. Fecken and Lukowitz had more than 2 minutes over Damso and Aris in A6. Van der Walt and Harding were leading A7, and Krobbeler and McGregor Group N in 7th overall. Royal Swazi Sun in the heart of the picturesque Ezelwini Valley, which for more than 20 years has played host to the Stanek Rally of South Africa. Its convention centre and leisure facilities acts as a magnet for foreign visitors throughout the year, and it's ideally situated as the venue for rally headquarters. Day 2 dawned bright and sunny, and the crews enjoyed a pleasant chat before the serious work of tackling the 13 stages.